Wait. Duck eggs are actually legit? You tell me that Mike O'Hearn was right all along, that maybe whoa. Okay, yeah, the whole Mike O'Hearn thing, I know a couple of years ago, there was like this whole thing with him and the duck eggs and, you know, expensive duck eggs and whatever, okay? All that aside, like Mike and I go way back. I know Mike, he's a cool guy. I'm not gonna bag on him about the duck eggs. I actually wanna focus on the duck eggs because it is kind of interesting. I had them not that long ago and I thought, okay, this tastes like kind of a fattier, almost like more flavorful version of a chicken egg, but I didn't really think much of it. Like, was there going to be much difference in terms of nutritional value? But when you start looking at the nutrient value, it's pretty interesting. Duck eggs might have some components that make them superior to chicken eggs, but not when you factor in the cost. I don't know. Anyhow, it's a unique keto food that you may want to consider trying because it does yield some extra benefit. So after this video, I want you to check out my friends over at Unbun Foods. If you're doing keto, they are unreal, or should I say unbun. Like, they have bagels, they have bread, they have tortillas, they have what is called an untortilla. Everything is made from like almond, from sometimes with flax, sometimes with egg white, psyllium. Like, how they make their products is unreal. It's not like a lot of this keto bread that is a totally like weird combination of all kinds of ingredients. Super down to earth, simple ingredients, and that's what I love about them. So they do ship directly to people, but they're also at Whole Foods nationwide. So highly recommend you check them out at Whole Foods, or if you want to try them out, you can use that link down below and save a few bucks and get them shipped to your doorstep. They are a supporter of this channel, and I'm also on their scientific advisory board, which is awesome. So I help them formulate and help them make decisions in terms of that. So check them out down below in the description after this video, and thank you, Unbun, for making the food that you make and for supporting this channel. All right. So before you go out and buy a bunch of duck eggs, let's make sure that you have a need for the nutrient profile that's in them. Because as far as macronutrients are concerned, duck eggs and chicken eggs are like essentially the same in terms of fat and protein. They taste fattier for some reason, but I think that has to do with the fact of like they're sourced locally generally. So what we have to look at, protein, fat is about the same. But when you look at B12 content, this is where it starts to get interesting. If you are a vegetarian that is eating eggs, it is probably worth it for you to make a switch at least part of the time over to duck eggs, okay? So a 100-gram serving of duck eggs has 90% of your daily value of vitamin B12, whereas chicken eggs only have 20 to 25%. Okay, so when you start looking in that category, B vitamin-wise, like off the charts, really good. Now I'll explain why that's the case in a second, okay? Additionally, when it comes down to vitamin D levels, this is where things are intriguing. Duck eggs, gram for gram, have twice as much bioavailable vitamin D than chicken eggs. Wow, okay. So that is implying that like the fat content is going to be a much more bioavailable, usable form of fat. And when you actually look at the fatty acid profile, they probably are a little bit better. Richer omega-3, higher alpha-linolenic acid. Again, we'll touch on that in a minute. But when it comes down to vitamin D, like if you're looking at metabolic health, if you're looking at all that, vitamin D plays such a critical role in how our body regulates glucose, okay? Because vitamin D regulates calcium absorption. Calcium plays a role in how our pancreas secretes insulin. So when we consume carbohydrates, when we consume glucose or anything like that, that glucose comes in and it hits the pancreatic beta cell within our pancreas, okay? Well, this triggers the pancreatic beta cell to change a little bit and allows calcium to come in. If you don't have calcium because you don't have vitamin D, then the calcium can't come into the cell. And when the calcium comes into the cell, that's how it allows the release of insulin. Okay, so this whole process is very critical for glucose metabolism. And without vitamin D, there can be some metabolic health impairment that occurs. But additionally, when you look at like mitochondrial health, vitamin D plays a role there as well. We have to look at that whole picture. So yes, there is a big question of, are duck eggs better than chicken eggs? When you look at nutritional value, yes, you're going to get more with duck eggs. When you look at things like choline, okay, choline is going to be a precursor to like the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. So if you're trying to support brain health, choline is very important. But duck eggs and chicken eggs, once again, same amounts of choline. So does it really matter? I think the big answer here, as much as it's kind of a lame response, is that duck eggs are generally better because of how they're sourced. If you look at where a duck egg comes from, it's probably coming from a local farmer. They're not mass produced. So in that case, you're not having an egg that is completely like devoid of nutrients. Okay, you've got something that's probably been, like the duck has probably been fed relatively good food. It's going to have a better omega-3 profile as a result because it's eating more scraps and more things that are going to give it the wide variety that it needs. When you look at like chicken eggs, for example, most chicken eggs you're buying in the store, they're vegetarian fed, right? vegetarian fed chicken eggs don't yield you much benefit. As a matter of fact, chickens are omnivores. They should be consuming that. They should be consuming, well, not just vegetarian feed. So those eggs are probably missing out on minerals and vitamins in the first place, plus the mass production probably causes an issue. So yeah, you're gonna pay more for duck eggs, but you're gonna get more nutritional value. I don't necessarily suggest buying them from Mike O'Hearn. That was kind of random. I don't know what that was all about, but if you can find a local source for them, it might be a good replacement now and then, or mix them up with your chicken eggs just to get something different. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.